Honey, you gotta check this out. Chris Schnabel over at Pixar teamed up with Fender. They made this really cool guitar for Nam. It's got one of the characters from his book on it, and it's like wicked lightning on the fretboard. This is just cool. I just did something crazy. Have you ever looked at all the gear musicians use and wonder, how does it all work? My name's Dustin, and my family and I are setting out on a quest to inspire both adult and kid musicians to create new sounds together and learn all about what it takes to produce great music. We'd like to invite you along on the journey as we explore the gear professional studios, musicians, and hobbyists use to create their art. We'll take a close-up look at the gear and ask,
what's this button do?
hello and welcome to this week's episode of What's This Button Do? I'm your host, Dustin, and today we're going to be taking a dive into one of our favorite guitars here at the studio. Now, I showed you a little sneak peek before we even started the episode up, but we're going to be talking about a Fender master-built Telecaster that came to us back in 2020. And this is one of the guitars that just really opened my eyes up to what a good quality guitar could be. But it also made me appreciate shopping at retail. You see, I had seen this guitar online the month that it was revealed. It was going to be a special guitar that they made for NAMM. And one of my favorite artists, Chris Schnabel from Pixar, had done some artwork from a new book that he was about to release with this really cool villain character and put it on the guitar. And Scott Buell had made this amazing guitar. And so I had just seen it, thought this is a great guitar, never going to have something like that, master built guitar, way out of my budget range. Then a few months later, I was heading down to Springfield, Missouri to do some work. And I stopped by the shop to pick up some extra picks because I had left all my picks at home. And my buddy Nate and my buddy Kyle were there, and they were like, oh man, we just got all the guitars in from NAMM. You got to come check this out. And we walked back in the back, and he pulls out a couple of these master built pieces that they had gotten from the Fender shop. And lo and behold, they open up this case, and there it is. Sitting right in front of me, the guitar that I had been ogling online, this master-built Fender Telecaster in all of its glory, with just the most insane, you can kind of see if I get it in the light here, this kind of barnwood lacquer finish on there, the cool lightning, the neat artwork. And then as I picked it up and started spinning it, just every angle had something new. You had this cool checkering, the neat aging, the just really cool dice button down here on the tone control. Everything about it just saying, this thing is so unique, so cool. I fell in love. I gripped it in my hands, being such a big guy. I'm 6'6" and I have huge hands. I usually need a baseball bat neck. But when I gripped this neck, even with a C shape, it just felt perfect in my hand. And the sound, we'll get into that in a second. Absolutely amazing. So I fall in love with this guitar. But it's a master-built Fender. There's no way I can afford this. So I look at the guys, and they could see it in my eyes. Like, I was just in love. Like, it was almost like this just religious moment. And Nate was like, that's your guitar. And I said, I don't know how I can do this. And they both looked at me, and they said, go home. We'll give you a day. Figure out what you can trade us. And so I went home, drove home that night, and granted, I live in Kansas City, 3 hours away from Springfield. I went home, ransacked my basement, found every pedal I haven't played in 6 months, guitars I hadn't played, everything, loaded up my car, drove back to Springfield, and we just went through it all, and we found enough gear that we could trade in, and I still cannot thank the guys at Palen enough for what they've done, because they connected me with a guitar that's just allowed me to make music. And that's just it. Something I firmly believe in is that guitars should inspire you, but they also, I don't like hanging my guitars on a wall. Most people who buy like a Fender Master Built, a lot of them are art pieces. They're beautiful. But the Fender shop, their Master Built people are amazing. They are designing guitars to be played. It's not just about hanging them on a wall. And so I felt like if I was going to do this, this needed to be a guitar that got played all the time. So it has become the #1 played guitar in our shop. I want to take a few minutes to kind of walk you through some of the neat benefits of it, and then we're going to actually hear how it sounds. Now, this is a completely custom shop piece. This is number 333 from the Master Built shop. Again, with that amazing art from Chris Schnabel. I'm going to put a link to his site down below here so you guys can go check out his artwork. He's still working on the Doggles book, which is where this Captain Carp character is from. It's going to be amazing. You could see the journeyman lacquer finish on there that kind of gives it that barnwood look. And it has this really neat ash body. But then the neck is this bird's eye maple. And it is absolutely stunning because they oiled it down, kind of broke in the finish. So when your hand's sliding up and down it, it just feels super comfortable. Then they did an ebony fretboard, and then they carved this lightning bolt image all the way up the neck. I've never seen another Fender guitar like this that has it, but it's got this neat pearl resin lightning bolt that goes all the way up, and it is just absolutely stunning from a distance. The pickups are interesting as well. The neck pickup is not a standard Tele pickup. It's actually a custom shop Seymour Duncan 59 that's got these aged bridge plate, pickup covers on it to give it kind of that old ancient brass look. And then the bridge pickup is actually an Abigail Ybarra wound pickup that, oh my gosh, it's amazing. You're going to hear it in a few minutes. But they combined it with this brass RSD ring. And for those who have never seen the RSD saddles that the Fender Custom Shop does, I urge you, I'm going to tell you, that is one of the best upgrades you can make to a Telecaster if you're looking to mod your Tele. A nice RSD brass unit on the Telecaster, it takes away a lot of the hum. It just sounds amazing, and it gives you sustain for days. I will swear by them. I think they're one of the greatest inventions I've ever seen. So all of this together with the custom wiring and that cool dice down on the tone knob is just absolutely phenomenal. So I want you to hear how it sounds, though, because how it sounds is really where the inspiration is. So let's take a little deep dive into that, and I'll walk you through some more details of it. All right, let's hear how this sounds. We're going to start off and let you hear a little bit of the neck pickup. I'm going to play this little Seymour Duncan 59. We're going to have the volume and tone roll all the way up, but listen to the electronics here. I'm going to kind of roll down everything so you can hear it. You hear it. Sounds great. Volume knob. You can hear very little hum out of this. Really does its job. See, even though it's a humbucker in the neck, it's still clean. Great, clear sound. A lot of times I like to mess around with the lightning configuration and just play around with the lightning and see what it sounds like. Fun way to noodle. Now, all right, let's take it down to the bridge and listen to this Abigail Ybarra pickup. This thing is absolutely amazing, but notice when I turned it down on there, no extra 60 cycle hum. You're not hearing a lot of noise. Usually on a Tele pickup, you would hear a ton of noise here, and it just really tends to feed back. This doesn't do that, so I love the way it sounds. It's just absolutely awesome. See? Neck's kind of dull. You get that brightness from the bridge. Gives you that kind of a percussive spank. I love that middle. It's one of the most usable middle positions. You really get the depth of that bridge, but then you also get that spank that you get in the Ybarra pickup. It's just gorgeous. Now let's do a little fuzz here and let you hear what it sounds like. If I roll the tone all the way back, it just has this amazing clarity. muddiness to it, and you don't hear as much there. The bridge just sustains for days, and you hear that brightness, and you can almost hear the attack of the pick. It's just, absolutely love that sound. And it all comes from these brass saddles, and just having that RSD bridge, it just gives it so much more sustain, and just, it does something magical to your tone here. It's just a combination of all those things working together that really, really gives it such a beautiful sound. So what's the moral of today's episode? Number 1, shop at your local guitar stores. You never know what kind of treasures you're going to find there. Sometimes it will amaze you. Number 2, make friends with the people at your local guitar store so that they can let you know about those treasures and help you figure out a way to get them. Number 3, find a local hat maker. I found a lady named Genevieve who is absolutely amazing at what she does down in Springfield. Showed her a picture of the guitar, and a few months later, she made me this amazing hat to match it. So now, whenever I play the guitar, I really feel like I can fit in and have fun with this because she matched it to the back of this. Absolutely amazing. And yes, I know I look crazy, but it's just a lot of fun. And let's face it, guys, that's really what it's all about, is having fun, finding inspiration, and enjoying yourself at the end of the day. We're here to make music and inspire, have fun, and be creative. And that's what all this is about. So we talked a little bit in this episode about things that I would do to mod a guitar to give it this kind of look, like adding that RSD bridge, maybe getting a hand wound pickup to up that sound from your guitar. But I want to know from you, please comment in the comments below, what's the best mod you've ever made to a guitar or you've ever heard made to a guitar that you're thinking about doing to your own guitar so that we can talk about those in the future. I absolutely love how just a little change in an existing guitar can breathe whole new life into it. So we're going to be focusing on those in the coming weeks. Well, as always, I'd love to thank my friends at Palen, not just for supporting this channel, but also for what they did for me to help make this guitar happen. This was a dream come true and something that I wish for all of you to be able to find that special guitar that you bond with and enjoy it. As always, please follow me on social media. Make sure you like me on Instagram at What's This Button Do Dustin. You'll see the link down below. And if you have any questions about today's episode or just anything that you'd like us to cover in the future, please comment down below. We're always glad to answer your questions and help however we can. Now, next week, we're going to be taking a look at how to use multiple layers and double tracking to create an amazing tone with your guitar without having to do a lot of extra work in Pro Tools. So if that interests you, please join us next week. We'd love to see you. And as always, thank you so much for spending your time with us. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you soon.